Angels just reached their 100th game, and they are 2 games above 500. They are 4 games out of the wild card, and they are 8 games back in their division. So they need 90 wins. That's a good baseline for them getting into the wild card, with how competitive the wild card will be, with Tampa being a great hot start to the beginning of the season, Houston and Texas fighting, and then the rest of Toronto, Boston, and the Yankees all fighting in the East. So, in order for the Angels to sneak in to the wild card, or to overcome Texas and Houston, which a lot of people don't think is going to happen, we need to see 90 wins minimum. And I think that they can do that. They need to go 39-23 for the rest of the season in order to have the possibility of this happening. They're not so great on the road, and they're about to have a 9-game road stretch. 9 game with Detroit, Toronto, and the Braves. And I think they're going to lose the series to the Braves, because the Braves are just red hot, and Toronto is one of the teams ahead of them, and it would be really great for them if they could win that series. And Detroit is much lower down. They're 9.5 back. They're 9 games below 500. So that should hypothetically give them a better chance, considering they also have a losing record at home, and they're going to be playing at home. They have a losing record both ways, but they're actually worse at home, technically. So if the Angels can get Trout back within the next few weeks, start really getting hot without having to worry about Neto's injury potentially, without having to worry about the other injuries that may or may not come into play that are already plaguing the Angels. If Mickey, who's been really on fire, if Ohtani, who has had a few cold moments but has mainly been MVP caliber, I mean, you can see here MLB posted an article talking about just how great these 2 seasons were from him. Not his first 2 seasons, these 2 seasons from him. And currently, when you line the two up, you're seeing identical numbers between the two, and he's just been on fire, and we're seeing him being incredibly confident, bat flips. We're seeing him hitting clutch home run after clutch home run. He's hitting home runs straight away. He's pulling a lot of home runs. He's hitting the ball hard on average. He's hitting the ball far on average. He is really on fire, even though he's had a few cold spots. But we're still seeing a great power hitter out of Ohtani. We're seeing Ohtani get in less quality starts than he did last year, and I think even less quality starts than 2021. But he's still a breakout two-way player, amazing two-way player. We're seeing Mickey, who's covering for Trout, and he's able to get in a lot of experience and bring another bat to the lineup that is playing much better than Trout was in June, prior to his injury for 4 weeks. And then the week before his injury, he was really seeing the ball better, according to himself. And the injury was really, really unfortunately timed. So, with all of that said, I think that the Angels are going to go 42-20 in the rest of the games of the year. And if I do this right, or if I guess this right, or somewhat close to being right, and the Angels actually go into the playoffs, I 112% will make a video talking about how the Angels made it when they were not looking like they were going to make it, unless they were hot and the other teams were still hot and they still somehow eked it out. So we really need to see the Angels put up a good performance, because the worst team in the East is still better than them, and they swept that team. Well, record-wise is better, and they swept that team. So if they're sweeping the Yankees on a cold patch and they're still below them, it's good. It's good for the record, but you really, really want to see just a good performance overall. Also, if anybody gives me crap for putting Ohtani in 99% of those clips, he's leading his team in all but like 3 of the offensive categories. He's leading in triples in the MLB and his team, home runs in MLB and his team, RBIs in his team. He's leading in walks. He's up there in strikeouts. I think he's the top in strikeouts. He's got the best average for people who have more than like 25 plate appearances. Best base percentage the same. Best slugging the same. Best OPS and the most WAR. And then on the pitching side, he has basically everything highest on his team that a starter can have. He's the most innings pitched, most wins, most quality starts, 10. Amazing strikeout per 9, still in the top like 5 of all pitchers, but he's high up there against all of his teammates who are starters. Most WAR, that is from a pitcher that is a starter. I don't know much about whip, but I'm pretty sure around 1 is really good. And his ERA isn't the best, but he is the best starting pitcher and the best hitter on their team.